Hey everyone, welcome to the exercise module where you're going to learn how to individualize your exercise regimen. And I honestly feel like when it comes to all these different types of things that we're doing, whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, whether it's something that you're trying to incorporate into your lifestyle that's really going to make an impact for the better, we always want to take things slow. And I think get very pressured into feeling as though we need to do everything all at once. And that all has to do with an all or nothing mindset. But, when someone's looking to try to better their health, it's never going to be a perfect lining, or you're never going to be at that 100%, because if we always try to expect that 100%, then you're just going to be let down every single time. So always aim for better, never for perfection. But when it comes to exercise, one of the basic things anybody can do is really go into it slowly, and that's really pretty much just trying to get in 10,000 steps a day. Whereas it gets more complicating with certain individuals, individualizing one's exercise regimen will vary and depend on each person's physical symptoms. It will depend on what your goals are. Are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to tone or tighten? Majority of the time, I like to do a combination of training and some sort of exercise that's going to keep your heart rate up to actually burn the fat. So when you do those two in combination, you're then able to lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. Calories in versus calories out, that myth is, I think there is some truth to that, but again, it's gonna be different for everyone. So I actually wrote here what are the most important things and benefits for exercise. I think that if you don't want to take on a whole regimen with exercise or exercise every single day, you could start with something like stretching. Stretching is great because it improves lymphatic flow, which we need because the body needs to detox through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system sits mostly behind the knees, by the neck, by the collarbone, in the gut. So if we don't move and the lymph needs to be manually drained, it's not like an automatic process in the body. It has to be drained manually. So movement and walking and exercise will help keep your lymphatic system at flow. So if you want to look at these different symptoms to poor lymphatic drainage, then maybe exercise would be a good idea for you. And we have mobility. We need mobility to be able to do the everyday tasks that we do. So carrying grocery bags, carrying diaper bags, car seat, things like that. We want to make sure that we are mobile and that we're not compromising different areas of the body to cause injury. So mobility is very important because we want to be able to prevent any injuries. And then form. Form is also very important, so that most women will have to deal with back pain or neck pain, shoulder pain. So form is going to be very important, not just during the exercise, on a day-to-day basis. So that means, try not sitting too long, try not standing too long, always try to change it up. I actually just changed my desk to a standing desk, so I'll keep changing it, and that will help with my form. The problem is that when we go too long with not moving, we then start to compromise our inner core, which is responsible in holding our back. So hence why many of us are dealing with back pain. So making sure that you're always holding in that core, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and really just trying to stand up straight. And also another thing is that when you're sitting by a desk for too long, you don't want to be hunched forward like this. You will always want to make sure that your chin is tucked in. Also through the exercises, if you're going down into a plank, always making sure that that chin is tucked in to the neck so that your posture is straight. Then circulation. Exercise is great for circulation. We need circulation. That will work together with the lymphatic system and the stretching, which will also improve circulation. And mobility, right? Our joints need that circulation. We need things to move in the body. Then detox. Exercise is great for detox. Sweating. Sweating is one of the ways that we're able to detox from many different things. Heavy metals, plastics, all these toxicities that we are being compromised with, we will detox them through sweat. That's the best way to detox it. There's actually many studies showing that exercise is one of the best ways to detox from anything. So you'll get that benefit too. I hope that motivates you into starting some sort of regimen in terms of exercise. And then the last thing here we have is range of motion. Range of motion is very important because we also want to be able to use every single part of our body with ease. And what that means is, if let's say you're picking up a bag of groceries, you want to be able to use your full range of motion as where your elbows are, completely going back and not like halfway. So range of motion just means that your joints are able to do a full motion, right? And not like stop halfway and be like, ow. So exercise will also help with range of motion, and the mobility should actually help the range of motion. So really much the basics when it comes to exercise is a form during the exercise and throughout the day. I think the most important thing to note is really just making sure that your core is engaged throughout the workouts. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how that works. So we have two different ways that we can pull in the stomach. And we always want to make sure that we're breathing in from our belly and not from our chest. Whereas as most chest breathers are not using their diaphragm. The diaphragm sits right above, right here. And we want to make sure to use that because that's going to involve the other different parts of the body. So as you're going throughout your day, you want to make sure that you're using your belly. It might be a little bit hard at first. You can always start on the floor to do the breathing and just put your hands over your belly and just make sure that your belly is going in and out, in and out. And the proper way to do that is to breathe in, let your belly expand, and then breathe out. Let your belly pull in towards the spine. So it's all about getting that gravitation in the lower abs to pull in, and the area by the belly button to kind of suck in instead of sucking in from here, from the bones. So it could look like this, and if you want, you could use your hands as a guide. So really just getting that muscle to contract like a corset, because this whole entire muscle is wrapped around the back and then pulling in towards the front. And when we get pregnant, this lining called the linea alba is gonna stretch, and it can stretch for many other different reasons, not just pregnancy, but also if you're doing exercises incorrectly, if you cough or sneeze, sometimes you could get some sort of pelvic dysfunction that goes together with that. So doing Kegels will definitely help while you're contracting the belly. That's one of the ways you could do it. And just making sure that during exercise you're breathing correctly, not holding in your breath, and always make sure that the core is pulled in and that your back is straight, never at a curve. Shoulders are back, head is straight, neck is pulled in. Those are pretty much the basics on what you want to do. One of the most basic exercises that a lot of people have issues with is the squat. And you could really do this against the wall so that you can get a better idea if I'm not next to you. Which when you go into a squat, you want to make sure that your tush is going back like as if it's going on a toilet. So it's going back. You see my back is still straight. My shoulder blades are back. My head is straight. I'm not curving my back. Another way to do it is up against the wall. And this is actually going to force you to go back, not forward, which is most people will lift their heels and go forward. And that's not what you want to do. That's going to injure the knees. So you could go up against the wall and then try to sit back that will force your glutes to go back the proper way. So that's one exercise to be aware of with form. And then in terms of lunges, always making sure that the knee is back, far away, not too close, not too far. Making sure your body is aligned and making sure you're breathing as you're going up and down. And you should be able to feel it right here and by the glute. Common move that's done incorrectly is a lot of different types of workouts. What if you're on your back? So a lot of the ab exercises will actually make diastasis much worse. So a lot of these sit-ups, you want to make sure if you're going to do them, if you have the strength in your inner core to do them, is to pull this right here in when you're coming up, instead of allowing it to protrude out like a dome. And then in the same position as a plank, kind of the same idea. Don't allow the belly to sink in towards the floor. Just make sure that the belly button's pulled in towards the spine. Okay? So those are the most important things to note while you're going through the workouts. Again, don't be pressured to have to do all these different types of exercises and workouts. Don't compare yourself to others with what they're doing. Do what you can. Any sort of movement is going to get you closer and closer to feeling your best.